Hello guys, let's discuss about the lead code question number 8, which is converting a string to the integer. And here the input given to us is a string and we need to return the integer as a 32-bit signed integer. And to convert the string into the integer, we are having some conditions. And if a string contains any white spaces, we need to ignore them. And if the string contains signed characters like minus and plus, if it is a minus, we need to consider the number as a negative number. If it is a positive, if it is a plus symbol, then we need to consider it as a positive integer. And suppose if this minus and plus, these both are not present in the string, we need to consider that digit as a positive integer. And if the suppose if the string containing continuous zeros till the end of the string, or if continuous zeros are occurred, we need to ignore them. We need to if suppose if the string containing total zeros, we need to return directly 0. And if it is having zeros and then next character as a integer, we need to skip that leading zeros until a non-digit character is encountered. And fourth condition is apply 32-bit limits, means the integer should be in a 32-bit signed integer. The return type of integer which is should not exceed the 32-bit, and also it should not be greater than 32-bit and integer, and also it not less than the 32-bit integer, right? Okay, and so let's go through some examples for this. You'll get to understand. If you take an example of here we are having a string length as 5, here 0 1 2 3 4, here these are two spaces, so we need to ignore these two spaces, right? And then next we are having a minus symbol, so we consider this number as a negative number, right? And next we are having a 4 and 2, so we will read these two numbers, and here we are having this minus symbol, so the output we need to get as a minus 42, right? And if you take an example 4 minus and 2, here the signed character is occurred in the middle, right? So in that case what we need to return is, so first we are getting as a 4, right? So first we add this 4 to the answer, and then we are having a minus symbol. In that case, if a minus symbol is occurred, we should not consider it as a negative number because it has occurred in between the digits, so we need to return this integer as a output. If on a string which is occurred, if a character which is occurred in between these digits, we should not consider it as a negative, because and we need to return the answer as the characters before this signed character, right? And if you take an example like 1 3 a b c d 4, in this case we need to return as 1 3 4. If any characters alphabets are occurred, we need to ignore them, right? And also if you take suppose 1 3 4 and there are some spaces and 6, in that case we need to return 1 3 4 6. And if you go through the example of 0 0 1, in this case we need to get, if here we are having two zeros starting, right? So we need to ignore these two zeros, we need to print output as 1. Suppose if we are having a string of these are all spaces, right? These are all spaces and we are having zeros, here we need to print output as 0, right? Because here the starting is spaces, we need to ignore them. And if you go through this we are having a zeros one after another, so here there is no non-digit number which is occurring after zeros, so we directly return 0. Okay, and let's go through the brute force approach. And first what we are doing in the brute force is trim. Why this trim we are using means, if any spaces are present in the string, that can be removed using this trim. Okay, so then what we are doing, if the string is empty and we are making it directly returning 0, and variable called sign which is equals to 1, means why we are taking these variables? If the sign is a positive, we are making it is a positive integer, and if it is a negative, we are updating the sign to the -1, right? And int I equals to 0, this is for traversing the string. And so let's see, suppose if the character at 0, if it is minus, we are making this sign equals to -1 and I plus plus. And if it character at 0 is equals to plus, we are making I plus plus, right? And why and the next we are creating a string called digits, which is an empty string, right? And this while I less than str dot length and character is a digit, we are checking the character which is at a ith index is a digit or not. And if it, even if it is a digit, and it should be less than this length of the string. So what we are doing, if it is a digit, we are appending this character to the digit string, right? And we are making I plus plus till this will continue until if any another characters like alphabets or any signed characters or as occurs, so this will stop, right? And here every time we are creating a new string, if you go through this line digits plus equals to str dot caret of I, this makes every time creating a digit object. In the Java, what happens is if you create a object, string is object, right? String is a immutable one. Uh, we cannot add or insert anything into this. We are using the existing digit and we are creating another digit. Even if you use the same variable, but it points to the different object in the location, in the memory location of the Java. And okay, did you get this? This makes the time complexity of O of n square. And this, and if it is digits dot is empty, we are going to return the 0. And here the condition for if it is a 32-bit or a not, we are checking. Why we are taking long means to avoid the integer overflows, we are using this long. And we are converting that digit which is in the form of a string, right? So we are converting into the long type, okay? And this parse long is converting this the string into the long type. So, and star sign means if it is a negative, we are making, if it is a sign is equals to -1, if we are making it is a negative number. And if it is a 1, and we are making it is a positive number. Suppose if the the what we are getting the num which is greater than the integer and max value, what we are making, we are directly returning the integer dot max value. If the integer suppose if the num is less than the integer dot min value, then we are returning the integer dot min value. This is how we are performing this conversion of string to the integer, and at the end we are returning this num as a integer. Our return type is a int, right? Okay, why this long is, I guess you understood why we are using this long, because to overcome the overflows, integer overflows. Okay, let's discuss about the optimal approach. What we are doing in optimal approach is we are taking a n variable for a string length, and we are to return the answer, we are taking a answer variable and the boolean variable for whether it is a negative integer or a positive integer. And this I is for traversing an entire string. And this while, what this while loop means,